Last season was dreadful for Liverpool. They failed to qualify for the Champions League. I mean, they were so bad that Mo Salah had to tweet out a full-blown apology at the end of the season. Come on now, we can't allow Mo Salah to do that again, and so it's time to kick Jurgen Klopp out, SQG in, I'm gonna become the next manager of Liverpool, and let's get them back to the top of Europe. Instantly, I'm looking at this Liverpool team, and I can tell you where the problem is. It's definitely not the attack, because we've got Mo Salah, and he's unbelievably good. In even a terrible season like the last one, Salah still scored over 20 times. Cody Gakpo was a star at the World Cup 2022. If he can get going, he's going to be amazing too. And Darwin Núñez, I know his finishing is a bit sus, but he's got unbelievable potential, and I truly believe that. The problem isn't even in the defense. Alisson in goal is as good as you can get. Virgil van Dijk still has the experience. Robbo is rock solid. Konate is the future. And I know Trent is a bit sus while defending, but he makes up for it with his assists and crosses. The problem is the midfield, and it's always been. Henderson is now 33, Thiago 32. They just don't have the legs anymore. And you guys know how Liverpool got to the top. It was through the unbelievable pressing they did, and these three just simply don't have the legs. Thankfully though, the Liverpool board have already made our life easier. Firstly by signing Alexis McAllister for just about 40 million, but also by signing Dominic Szoboszlai. Hopefully I'm saying his name right. Just with these two transfers, I think a lot of Liverpool's issues are going to be under control. Obviously, it depends if McAllister and Szoboszlai, again, I'm just going to constantly butcher his name. But yeah, it just really depends if these two can adapt. But obviously, I'm coming in as a new manager. I do want to make my signings as well, and I do have a few ideas. But wait, what? Our budget is zero? We've got no money to spend? I need to have a chat with the board. We've just received an email from the Liverpool board. Welcome to Liverpool. I know you must be thinking why your transfer budget is zero. Well, it's because the club already made their signings for the season. We believe the signings of Szoboszlai and McAllister are enough to achieve our goals for the season. Wait a minute, do the Liverpool board actually think that? Just by these two signings, they're going to be miraculously able to compete against a super Man City team, an up-and-coming Arsenal team? Nah, like, come on. Oh man, I completely forgot. We're in the Europa League this season. Ah, that is just painful. Okay, I can give the board a let-off. That explains why our budget is so limited this season. But hey, we still have to achieve with this club, and these are the objectives the board have got for us for the season. First one, qualify for Champions League. No matter what, we need to pull this off. Second one, win the Europa League. I don't like that this objective is there because it'll deviate my focus from the Premier League, but hey, I guess the Europa League is a trophy and we've got to respect it. But there's one more objective, and it's to win the FA Cup. Also, the Liverpool board have mentioned that our objectives are going to dictate our budget for the next season. Qualifying for Champions League is going to get us 50 million, winning the Europa League 30 million, and finally the FA Cup's going to get us a respectable 20. We can have a solid budget for next season if we complete our objectives in this one. It's obvious we can't make more signings this season, but we still need to complete our objectives, and for that we need to get the best out of our team. And so it's time to kick off our Premier League season, which we're by the way doing against newly promoted Luton Town. My focus on this game was really on McAllister and Szoboszlai to see if they were adapting. McAllister definitely was. He played at Brighton before. He knows this league. Yo, McAllister is honestly insane as he finds Darwin Núñez somehow. I do not know how, and it's a goal. But Szoboszlai on the other hand was finding it tricky. And here we are second after just 3 games. We're definitely not the best team in the Premier League, but I do feel the squad is coming together, and qualifying for Champions League by getting top 4 should definitely be doable. But on transfer deadline day, I got the shock of my life. It's a transfer offer for our captain Virgil van Dijk. Normally I wouldn't be worried, but this time it's from a Saudi club, and it's Al Nassr who are willing to pay 60 million for him. But not just that, they've convinced Van Dijk because they're offering him like 400 grand a week. We can't compete against Al Nassr on money, and so the board decided to sell him. Honestly, I don't blame Virgil van Dijk for securing the bag. Everybody's doing it. Saudi Arabia is taking over football. But what's annoying is the timing of this move. It was literally on deadline day. And so here we are sitting with 60 million in cash, but Virgil van Dijk gone, and also outside the transfer window. That is brilliant. We've literally got no option but to just survive until January, and the only way we can do that is by playing Joel Matip. But honestly, he's 32 and I don't really trust him. The second option though is by playing Joe Gomez, and why I like this is because he's quick, and if I play him on the right side, maybe he can cover up for Trent. We also need to give someone else the armband, and I think that's that's going to be Robertson. We're really in a very tricky spot now. And I'm thinking, is it even possible to complete our objectives? Well, we're going to have to push until January no matter what. To make things worse, just after all this Van Dijk drama, we're playing Manchester United. And let's just say without Van Dijk, this was a game to forget. One thing's for sure, our defense is going to be unreliable until January at least. And so our midfield needs to control games and our attack needs to score goals. To an extent, McAllister and Szoboszlai were able to control the middle of the park. They were even combining together and getting goals. But it really was Mo Salah who, in the absence of Van Dijk, was leading the team, Ballon d'Or level form, scoring the goals and keeping us afloat. We've somehow made it to January, and thanks to our attack and midfield delivering, we've kept our spot in the top 4. But only just. I mean, look at the gap. It's just 1 point to Chelsea. Another thing you'll notice is that we're one of the top scorers in the Premier League, yet we're one of the teams that have conceded the most goals. It clearly shows we need to replace Van Dijk. Before we get into signing a defender, let's see how we're doing in other competitions. Well, at least in the Europa League, we've topped our group, but only just. And we're out of the Carabao Cup, which is sad. But hey, look at our objectives. We can still qualify for Champions League. We're still in the Europa League. I think we can get all of this done if we can just sign a good centre-back. We're in January, and we really need to use this 60 million that we've got as soon as possible and bring in a centre-back. First, I thought of using Liverpool's transfer strategy of signing a player from Southampton. Sadly, though, Southampton have been relegated, and none of the options are looking all that good. We're gonna have to look elsewhere. Looks like Newcastle United, even after spending all that money, their project isn't working. Remember how Saudi Arabian club Al Nassr stole Virgil van Dijk from us? Maybe, just maybe, we can get a bit of revenge by signing Sven Botman from Newcastle, which by the way is owned by Saudi Arabia. Alright, Botman is valued at 42.5 million. We've got to be smart about this. First round of negotiations, they didn't even want to see my face. They just kicked me out. Okay, it's time for round 2, and I do not want to mess this up. So this time, I'm going to try with 46 million as my first offer. And they want 60 million. We can't afford that. But finally, we came to an agreement at 50 million. And soon enough, we completed the signing of the Virgil van Dijk replacement in Sven Botman. With the signing of Botman, we were keeping a lot more clean sheets. We're now in April, the business end of the season. In the Premier League, we're third, and we've basically secured a top 4 spot. Although I would have liked to challenge for the Premier League title, but that first half of the season being inconsistent cost us. Meanwhile, in the Europa League, we've made it to the quarterfinals as well. We're looking really good to complete all our objectives. But would you believe it? Rochdale, a teeny tiny club from the Championship, ended up knocking us out in the FA Cup. We've actually failed an objective. This is bad. Not only is this going to cost us 20 million for next season's budget, but if we fail another objective, there's a chance we could get sacked. To be honest, I think we've got the Premier League covered. We should get top 4 easily. But in the Europa League, we've drawn Inter. We have to knock them out. The first leg ended in a stalemate. This second leg is not just going to decide who goes through to the next round, but also it decides our job. We could literally get sacked if we end up losing this game. Everything's on the line. Against a team like Inter, we needed to score first, and so we piled on the pressure. And finally, it paid off. Darwin Núñez squaring it for Salah. Let's go! That was absolutely brilliant! Half time, and although we're leading, I'm not confident. Against a team like Inter, they can just pop up with the goal anytime. We need to get the second. In the second half, Mo Salah showed why he's one of the world's best players. What have I just done? Mo Salah with one of the craziest goals I've ever scored in FIFA. 2-0, it's done. After Salah's potential Puskas winning goal, there was no coming back for Inter. We had the momentum, and we then proceeded to thrash Villarreal in the semi-finals. And this was it, a chance to win the Europa League where we're facing Roma. S2G versus Jose Mourinho, I love the challenge. Meanwhile, the Premier League season came to an end, and it saw us finish third, just 3 points off the top. We've had an incredible second half of the season. Gotta say, a lot of it goes down to Mo Salah just having a ridiculous season. With that, we've completed our first objective of qualifying for the Champions League, and that's going to give us a good budget for next season. It's now time, though, to try and win the Europa League. Roma had Paulo Dybala, and he was the top scorer of the Europa League. Honestly, I would have been scared if not for the fact that we have Mo Salah. Mo Salah in a cup final. He's done it again. Mo Salah still wants more. He just pushes off a defender. He goes tumbling, and then Salah with the finish. The trophy is ours. Yes, guys, we've won the Europa League. And so out of the 3 objectives we had, we managed to complete 2 of them. And that is good enough to keep our job for next season. And I'm telling you this, next season is where things get serious because we still need to win the Premier League and the Champions League. The new season is only just kicked off and we've already received our objectives from the board. No surprises here, they want us to win the Premier League as well as the Champions League. Last season, we actually came pretty close to winning the Premier League. Obviously, we weren't in the Champions League, but this season, with the squad we already have, I feel like we're gonna be there. Plus, we've got 80 million to spend and improve this team. All thanks to, of course, winning the Europa League and securing Champions League from last season. Okay, once again, going through our team, honestly, the changes we made in the defense and, of course, the midfield, which I should be crediting the Liverpool board for doing, because Szoboszlai and McAllister are brilliant. But honestly, the 2 areas that have been letting me down are, well, one is Gakpo and Nunes. Honestly, last season, it was literally all Mo Salah. And if we want to win the Champions League, these 3 need to be playing like a trio. The second thing is the more concerning one, Fabinho. I thought his level kind of dipped last season, and I'm thinking maybe an upgrade over Fabinho, still keeping him in the team, but maybe on the bench. That could be smart. With the money we've got, we can only decide to do one thing, either improve our attack or improve our midfield. And I still kind of want to trust Gakpo and Nunes, so we're going to get a new CDM. And after a bit of searching, Ismail Benacer, who's currently playing at Chelsea, he's the guy I want to bring in. Thanks to Chelsea, he's already got a bit of Premier League experience in, and we can maybe capitalize on it. So let's see, 57 million, can we bring him in? Wow, we just got kicked out. Okay, this is going to be a lot harder than I thought. It honestly took a while to convince Chelsea to sell him, but they finally agreed. For 71 million, we bring in Ismail Benacer to Liverpool. With the signing of Benacer, I was convinced that we had the perfect balance of youth and experience. But we did have one issue, and it's Mo Salah's contract. It's expiring, and there are a lot of clubs behind him. You know, Al Nassr, they probably would love to have Salah, but there was no way I was gonna let Salah leave like Virgil van Dijk. Nah, not this time. I had to offer Salah a wage bump, but honestly, the way he performed last season, it's completely worth it, and with that, we've renewed his contract. With our squad ready, it was now time to kick off the season. And what better way than the UEFA Super Cup final, where we're facing the Champions League winners from last season, Bayern Munich. Sadly though for us, Bayern Munich ended up giving us a footballing lesson. Guys, I literally don't know how to stop them, and it's a 3rd goal. My god, has this been bad. By the end of it, I was really hoping we don't face Bayern in the Champions League. Okay, I know we took a pretty humiliating L to Bayern, but it's just the start of the season. The UEFA Super Cup doesn't even matter, although we just got destroyed. But that's fine. I still think we're on the right trajectory. We've just got to focus on ourselves. Also, guys, over 70% of you guys watching my content haven't subscribed. I'm really pushing to get to 800k subscribers, and I need your help. So yeah, subscribe to the channel. If this season we want to succeed and avoid defeats like the one we had against Bayern, we need our front 3 to click. And finally, that's exactly what happened. Ooh, I see Darwin Núñez's run. He controls it, and it's a lovely finish as well. That's the kind of finishing we need from him. Oh, Núñez sends Gakpo through. Oh, look at his space. You can't stop him. Gakpo through on goal. Can he get his goal against Man City? Yes, he can. Salah actually goes for it. No way. Salah is just crazy. Our front 3 had fired us straight to the top of our Champions League group. And halfway through the Premier League season, we were in 2nd position. Although we were one of the best teams in the league, Manchester United were having an even better season than us. They were unbeaten. The task is simple. We need to beat Manchester United at Old Trafford, and I think we can win the Premier League. But it's not going to be easy because Manchester United were the team that beat us in the Carabao Cup final. We know they're good. Tactically, I knew what we needed to do against Man United, controlling the midfield. If we can pull that off, I know we're going to win this game. And our new signing Benacer helped do just that. Oh, look at this pressure from Manchester United. They're trying everything to get the ball off us, but Benacer has done incredibly well and a lovely ball out wide. With the midfield under control, all we needed to do was score. Mo Salah now 1v1. There's nothing more he loves than scoring against Man United, and he's done that again. Oh, Darwin Núñez, the strength from him. He's run past the keeper, and it's a brilliant finish. We did it, guys. We've secured a huge win against Manchester United. This should put us back in the title race. Not only were we back in the title race, but we also managed to knock out Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League round of 16. But as luck would have it, we were now in the quarterfinals facing Man City. Oh, why did it have to be City? They could legit end our dream here. So far, things are going so well. We're on track to, of course, win the Premier League. We're on track, well, at least so far, to win the Champions League. But this could all change based on this game. First leg against Man City. It's kind of like Haaland versus Salah. Who's gonna come out on top? Can we get a result against City? It's a 1-1 draw. Everything rests on the second leg. If we can beat Man City at Anfield, we're gonna go through to the Champions League semi-finals. In a game like this, I was sure Pep Guardiola was gonna be up to something. And so in an effort to tactically outsmart him, I had a few tricks up my sleeve. Instead of playing Trent Alexander-Arnold, I decided to go with Joe Gomez at right back just to give us some extra cover. And I also opted for an even more defensive approach by playing Fabinho and Benacer together. And looks like our tactic worked. We had the midfield packed. Half time and there's nothing to separate the two teams. Our tactics are working as intended, but we are a bit too defensive. I really don't know if we're going to be able to score this way. I think I need Trent. I need something extra in the attack, otherwise we just won't be able to score. Bringing Trent on in the second half definitely made us attack better, but at the same time it made us vulnerable defensively. With Trent on the field, the game was now more open than ever. It really looks like whoever scores next was going to go through. I know it's a risk having Trent in a game like this, but it also can benefit you massively like it's done there. Trent with the assist. It's a master stroke to bring on Trent as Gakpo gets the goal. That could be it for us. And yes guys, it's full time. We've pulled it off. We've knocked out Pep Guardiola's Man City, and I was really tested as a manager in this one. Knocking out City meant that we had all the momentum in the world, and with that we managed to knock out Leverkusen in the semi-finals, which meant that the date was set: Liverpool versus Juventus Champions League final. Meanwhile in the Premier League, we're cruising at the top. Ever since that win against Man United, we haven't looked back. All we need to do is beat Nottingham Forest at home and the Premier League trophy is ours. With Cody Gakpo scoring the title-winning goal, we secured the win, and it's time to lift the Premier League trophy. Let's go guys, we've made Liverpool the best team in England, but there is still one trophy that remains. This season we wanted players other than Salah to step up, and that's exactly what happened. Look at Darwin Núñez outscoring even Salah, but Szoboszlai, Cody Gakpo, McAllister, and look at Trent with his 26 assists. It's been a ridiculous season. Time to top it off with the Champions League trophy. Before the game, I was observing the Juventus team, and honestly, with players like Vlahovic, Soler, Chiesa, they've built a great team. But this time, I didn't want to make any tactical changes as per. I'm sticking to what we know because I really feel we're the favorites. This is what we've spent 2 seasons working towards, and it's time to put all the hard work to fruition. The final kicked off and Juventus caught us by surprise. No, first chance for Juventus and they score. Vlahovic takes the lead. But thankfully, we managed to get back into the game pretty quickly. Oh, I see Salah in space, bang. Of course, it's Mo Salah. This Champions League final was so intense that I didn't even realize it was half time. Early in the second half, Juventus had a golden chance. Oh no, Son is going to shoot it. It's off the crossbar. We're lucky. Let's just clear the ball away. But we're struggling too. And a chance for them. Alisson has just saved us there. Juventus had their chance. It was now time for us. But the question is, can we take it? Mo Salah, what's he going to do? It's a tough angle. Still Salah. Can he actually go all the way? Salah is a cheat code throughout this journey with Liverpool. It's been him. He is him. Full time, and we've just won the Champions League with Liverpool, and oh boy does it feel good. Over these 2 seasons, we've taken Liverpool from a Europa League club all the way now to Champions League glory. By any chance, if you thought this challenge was easy, why not watch me manage Leicester City, who just got relegated down to the Championship? Click here to watch that.